俺の財宝か？欲しけりゃくれてやる。探せ！この世の全てをそこに置いてきた。
Sonachi everyone, and welcome to this new video about another transitional chapter where Oda apparently is moving the characters in preparation to the final part of the arc dedicated to the Fire Festival, as evident from the fact he even showed people from Wano preparing for that festival as well. And of course there is that very interesting ending in Onigashima, but before seeing everything in detail, I publish new videos every week, so make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to always know when I upload something new. Alright, with that said, let's jump straight into it. So the first thing to notice about the situation in the Flower Capital is how Oda is continuing to repeat that pattern made by a brief clash followed by a quick escape to move the Mugiwaras back and forth around the city, with only Zoro occasionally shown actually defeating opponents. And in my opinion, this approach suggests he is trying to contain the fights, not only because in this way it's easier for the Ninja Pirate Mink Samurai Alliance to maintain their rebellion a secret, but also because he probably plans to concentrate all the great fireworks in Onigashima. And we actually see expressions of these two motives in this very chapter. Indeed, first of all, looking at the dialogue between Orochi and Fukurokuju, the impression is that, despite being the only one truly believing Toki's prophecy about the Kotsuki return, the Shogun is not yet associating the presence and actions of Luffy and Law in Wano with the prophecy itself. And we can assume this won't change even now that they captured Law, who we can say won again in this occasion against Hawkins, because even if he is now a prisoner, with his superiority he managed to obtain what he wanted, which was freeing the lives of his subordinates from the control of the magician. And considering how the Mugiwaras are being excluded from this situation, it could create an opportunity for Hearts Pirates only action, which in the current context of the Flower Capital could even end up freeing all the Kotsuki supporters Orochi is currently keeping imprisoned, allowing Law's crew to finally give its own concrete contribute to the Alliance, maybe collaborating with Sangoro and Shinobu, especially in the eventuality they will need to face the Mimiwarigumi, that, considered how poorly the Oniwabansho performed until now, could be where lays the true strength of the Orochi's side of the arc. By the way, this group could also be the one best suited for this mission of freeing the prisoners, because Shachi, Penguin, Shinobu and even Sanji, thanks to his right suit, are the only ones who can easily avoid being recognized through the wanted sketches, since the first two only need to remove their hats and the Kunoichi for some reason was depicted at her young age. And talking about avoiding recognition, the way Oda made Usopp and Robin do that is brilliant, because he used the gag previously conceived in the context of the assonance between the exclamation ha and the Japanese word referring to a specific portion of the kabuki plays in a way significant for the plot, which allowed it to be recycled into a new, different gag. The key aspect in this situation is clearly that all the characters who finished their role in the capital are currently moving in Kuri, which, considered the many ships Ashura Doji gathered in the southwest port, is also the place where the Alliance will set sail towards Onigashima, not to mention the place where Franosuke will finally play his relevant role in this arc. By the way, those ships are clearly different from those we saw in the previous chapter, and basing on their state and on the fact they have flags with the symbol of the Kotsuki clan, my idea is that they belonged to those who attacked Kaido 20 years ago when Orochi stole the shogunate. And talking about the island where the wise king of the country resides, that is also where the most interesting part of the chapter takes place. The first thing to notice is how Linlin is clearly treated differently from the ordinary prisoner. And in this case, I think the reason why they prepared her food is because despite the karoseki and despite the chains, Kaido's subordinates still feared her tantrum. Whatever the reason, it probably doesn't matter too much anymore now that she is free. And as for the reason why Kaido allowed that, according to what we see in this chapter, the explanation which seems most logical is that he wanted to kill her after defeating her in a true fight. However, it's very unlikely that the two of them will truly battle, simply because with all considered, if they do, the only possible outcome is precisely Kaido killing her. Since because of the absence of Zeus and Prometheus, Linlin can currently only count on Napoleon, and so not being her at her max potential, it is very unlikely Oda would make her win, meaning that in the case of a duel to death, she can only die. However, there's no way this could happen, because everything Oda did to her in Wano until now clearly had the only purpose of bringing her to Onigashima to meet Kaido, and it would make no sense for the author to move her through the entire country just to kill her once she reached her destination. On the other hand, Kaido being defeated makes even less sense, not only because of what we said a moment ago, but mainly because it would completely destroy everything this Wano arc is based on. But then, the only possible way this situation could develop, in my opinion, is with the two emperors allying with each other. And if you saw my previous video, you know how there is an high chance this alliance will be related not only to the Rocks pirates, but also to Robin's capability to read poneglyphs. By the way, their clash we see in this chapter contains a lot of references to that we saw in chapter 434 between Shanks and Whitebeard. For example, with Linlin asking King to join her crew just like Shanks asked Marco to join his, but also in the very way their clash is represented, and of course in how the sky itself splits. And actually her dialogue with King is probably the most relevant part of this chapter, because if Kaido's commander is indeed a member of the Winged Folks, as it seems from the fact his wings are colored white in the anime, then what Linlin says not only could confirm the connections between that race and the Ancient Kingdom and the Void Century, which by the way I discuss in detail in the Void Century dedicated series, but it also reveals the existence of another mysterious race missing in Totland, which apparently Oda didn't introduce yet in the story, and since the other two you can't find in Big Mom's territory are both probably related to the Void Century, I think we can be sure this new mysterious race will definitely play a key role in the plot. So overall it was a very interesting chapter, not only because independently from how the Kaido-Big Mom interaction goes, it will definitely bring the arc to a next step with greater relevance and dimension, but also because while doing that it could even reveal some major hints about the mysteries of the plot. Then, while waiting to see how things will develop from this point, that's all for this video. Thank you very much for watching, don't forget to leave a like and make sure to watch also these other videos by this channel. Then see you next time, Jane.